that you've seen, worked for, and experienced came together into the perfect project plan. Maybe even the work you were meant to do with your life. And then you didn't take action on it. Let's be brave and raise some hands. Yeah, I too have felt the urge to ignore what seemed like the perfect work for me. It may seem like a serial entrepreneur like yours truly would be perfectly equipped to take on the risks of a new project plan. And yet I too have told myself that it was crazy or impossible and filed it away to be forgotten. Why do we do this? We often have good reasons. We have bills to pay, a family to care for, a mortgage, a car lease. Our friends might think we were crazy if we started something seemingly out of right field. And of course, there's the crowd favorite. What if we don't succeed? What I'm here to tell you tonight is that when lightning strikes and you have an audacious, never been done idea, you're not crazy. It's not out of right field. And it is exactly what you should be doing. Every one of those excuses that I just mentioned, and maybe some unique ones that you're thinking of now, are rooted in fear. My favorite quote on this is from a book called The War of Art. And it says, if you didn't love the project that was terrifying you, you wouldn't feel anything at all. In early 2015, the proverbial lightning struck me, and I had an audacious idea. It was pretty crazy. I wanted to drive across America alone to interview strangers from the greatest generation about how technology has changed everything over their lifetime. And then I wanted to publish a book about it, something I'd never done. This time, I didn't ignore the call because I was fed up with my own status quo. So often we want to maintain our status quos because it seems safer. But all too often, the status quo, it can be just as risky as a new project idea. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You get laid off, your partner leaves, your car breaks down right when you need it at most. We like to think of the things in our lives as steady, but everything in life is fickle. Why not spend it then doing something that you love and that could potentially change the world? Now, what I'm about to say is the most important thing I'm going to say to you this evening. Are you listening? You would not have had that audacious idea if you were not exactly the person to make it happen. I'm going to say it again. You would not have received that audacious idea from the universe if you were not exactly the right human being to bring it to life. Here's how I know. In 2015, I started planning my audacious idea. Let me be clear, there really was no plan. I was just following breadcrumbs laid forward for me by the universe, which is all we're ever really doing, if we're honest. As I started planning, I started to realize that everything I had experienced before had equipped me in order to make this happen. Things like developing websites, being an entrepreneur, networking, fundraising, and driving across the country to do disaster relief. It all came together to build an online presence for my new audacious idea, to fundraise on Kickstarter, to network to strangers and a publisher, and to drive across America alone. I had everything that I needed, but I almost didn't see it. It's easy to discount our own experiences, isn't it? Looking back, it's obvious I had everything that I needed. And that empowers me to start new audacious ideas today. What have you done in your life that empowers you to launch your audacious idea? Have you perhaps forgotten your qualifications like I had? If so, it's time to write them down and put them in a prominent place so when you get scared, you can't forget how equipped you are. Okay, so I've helped you assuage your fear a little bit, but let's talk about one that we all share: the fear of what others will think of us. It's natural to want the love and affection of our family and friends. But sadly, our loved ones are actually most likely to tell us that our idea isn't possible. And they may really believe it. The trick is to filter their fear. What they're really saying is that they can't imagine themselves doing your project. And of course, you're the one with the audacious idea. You're the one perfectly equipped to bring it to life. Okay, so we've assuaged some of your fears, and we've assuaged some of our fear of what others think of us. That'll get you started. But I want you equipped to handle anything. So I'm going to tell you my 3 pillars for launching your audacious, never been done idea. This will keep you going when you hit a roadblock, or when somebody says something to you that was exactly what you did not need to hear, that makes you doubt everything you believed in. First, it's time to build your bench. Now, I'm not much of a sports person, but what I do know is that most teams have a bench of team players who are waiting to back you up when you get tired or when your project needs a skill that you don't have. It may seem like your friends and family would be great to be on your bench, but they may not have the skills that your new audacious idea needs. And it's okay. You still love them, they still love you. But build your bench full of people who have the skills that you think you're going to need. I was lucky as I started my audacious idea that my bench defaulted to having people on it who had launched incredible international ideas and could help me fundraise in the way that I needed. And today, I carefully craft my bench with entrepreneurs who are doing what I am or are slightly ahead of me. Second, consider your qualifications. It's easy to forget what we've done and how qualified we are when we're in the throes of something new. I gave you my list a moment ago, and I want you to write yours down just as I instructed. But don't just put it somewhere prominent. Check it often and intentionally, and add to it, because you are constantly living, constantly experiencing, and constantly reaching new heights. Finally, remember that you have lived an amazing life already, full of rich experiences that may apply to your audacious idea in ways that you have not yet imagined. It's easy to think of something that's never been done before, starting from scratch, but you are not. You are simply adding a rung to a beautiful ladder that is continuing onward. Do not forget that. When you focus on your resources, you assuage your fear and can forge your new reality. This is the difference between the amateur and the professional. The amateur sees fear and runs, but the professional looks fear in the eye and forges ahead anyway. I have built my career on helping entrepreneurs and change makers forge their audacious ideas into life. If you want to know what that looks like, if you want to have a conversation, there is a card on the table in front of you, waiting for your name and email address. Fill it out, drop it into the pink bag, and I look forward to helping you forge your own way. I have given you my tools for assuaging your fear. Will you forge ahead?